With Injustice 2 on the way, it's time to do everyone's favorite pastime for fighting game speculation, talking about characters for the roster. I'll be looking at DC characters that have a feasible shot to make the roster based on their history with their respective franchises that I can make a case for in the game. For this list, I'm omitting any characters that were playable in the first game, and ones that are insinuated to be in Injustice 2, playable or background. I'm looking at you, Captain Cold's freeze gun hint. Now, since I really only know about the fighting game and TV side of DC Comics, I'm calling in my friend DJ Weird Sister to help me out with the comic book end. Unfortunately, due to the way we record, her sound quality decreases compared to mine, so because she has DJ in her name and was a radio DJ, just pretend she's calling in from her radio show to explain any sound abnormalities on her end.
What do you mean, Mr. Top 10? I'm definitely, absolutely traveling cross-country on the Weird Sister Witching Hour tour. I mean, obviously. Hey everybody, I'm DJ Weird Sister, the Top 10's local comics geek. Here to let you know what I know about the DC universe, so you can figure out who you want to main when the game comes out.
So here are our top 10 characters that should be in Injustice 2, in our opinion.
Number 10, Booster Gold. Now, you might not have heard of him.
Booster who?
To his eternal sadness. But this is Booster Gold! Time traveler, egomaniac, and goofy comic relief. I love the guy. He's very funny, and I think a shot of comic relief into the gritty universe of Injustice can keep the drama from dragging. So, what kind of moveset would we expect from the time-traveling, very shiny hero?
Is this guy Green Lantern? Cool! Wait a minute. Booster Gold has plenty of abilities from his future armor, many of which are beams. Eye beams, fist beams. How can you say you don't want a character with fist beams? It's like punching someone from a distance with pure light.
His time travel technology can allow for instant zaps across the screen. He can fly, he can blast lasers, and whatever else his future technology will allow. His companion bot Skeets might not have many fight capabilities, but as Booster's hype man, he'll have some great intro dialogue. Besides, a time traveler from the future, maybe he's back to stop evil Superman's bad future from coming about. You never know, so I think Booster Gold would be a fun addition to the game.
Number 9, Brainiac. He may not be as overpowered as Darkseid or Doomsday from the Superman Rogues Gallery, but he's probably my favorite of Superman's main villains, mostly because of the 90s animated series, but hey, he was shown he could compete on Superman's level. Brainiac is a genius who more fights you with knowledge or science, which he can use on a physical level. He has lots of technology around him that could make up his moveset, like creating force fields or electrocuting his opponent. Maybe he should put those wires he shoves into his skull to better use by wrapping them around who he's fighting. Since he's super smart and strategic, maybe he should also be able to predict your attacks by having a bunch of counters, like Sonya in MKX, or Magneto's force field in the Marvel vs. Capcom series. Also, give him a costume that looks like his robot form from the animated series, or at least some armor options like that. No matter what he wears, just make sure he has some pants, a decent pair of pants.
Number 8, Queen Vera. In a game featuring Aquaman so heavily, why not give a little screen time to the reigning queen of Atlantis? Now, unlike her hubby dearest, Vera doesn't bother bossing around the fish. No, she's got something better. The entire ocean. Her power of hydrokinesis allows her to manipulate water however she wants. So while Aquaman waits for its shark to get here, Vera's already slapped you in the face with the tentacle, tank, or just plain wave of oceanic fury. Watch out for the whirlpools, Odysseus. Make her mad, and this water witch is the queen of mean.
I like that she fights you with hard water, which is different than ice. Think Rain from Mortal Kombat. It would be good to have a character that finally uses water on the offensive. Think about it, Aquaman's attacks in the first game focused on trident rushing and used electricity more than water outside of his super move. He used water mostly for defense. Plus, Mera was a Red Lantern at one point, so can you say alternate costume? Maybe turn the water red for a gimmick. Perhaps Aquaman will fight more with water weapons in Injustice 2, But if it was up to us, just add some octopi to Aquaman's moveset and give Mera some water whips. Number 7. Circe. The initial reason? Justice League Unlimited. However, the reason I still want her playable is because she has a great array of powers and potential moves, along with her arrogant yet classy personality. She's one of Wonder Woman's main villains and a sorceress. While she could have some leftover moves Zatanna had in the previous game, considering Circe also creates illusions and throws projectiles of unspecified magic, her most unique ability is transformation. I don't mean full-on Shang Tsung or a Shinnok where she copies a move, but somewhere in the middle. She can apply certain attributes from others to herself, while still retaining her other powers, so she does not have to be stuck with the weaknesses of who she turns into. For example, she has stolen Wonder Woman's abilities in the past, but she is not restricted from using her magic abilities in her Wonder Woman form. Since Injustice 2 is focusing on different types of armor, Circe's armor can be from different forms she has stolen from various DC characters or Greek gods that Wonder Woman's Rogues Gallery is based on. She can also use her transformative powers on others, but I don't think it would be very balanced if she turned her opponent into a chicken mid-fight. If NetherRealm Studios found a way to make that happen though, they would be greater geniuses than they already are.
Number 6. Static. The first game gave us a lot of electricity-based characters, but with a whole new roster to add, why not one more? Virgil Hawkins is a cool kid who surfs around on a manhole cover, or his own specialized metal disc, zapping and magnetizing the bad guys of Dakota City. I'm excited to see a younger character, and fans of the old animated series Static Shock are in it for the nostalgia bonus. Plus, he can fling around his metal disc like a sassy, dreadlocked Captain America.
I like the idea of basing his moveset around magnetism to differentiate him from your standard fighting game electricity user. I could see his attacks utilizing metal objects he attracts from around the stage. A fighting game example I can give is from PlayStation All-Stars with Kat, who would summon debris that would float around her and she could use them as projectiles or save them for combos. Maybe give Static some trait like that, and have the materials he uses magnetism on change depending upon the stage he's on. See, there's plenty of ideas for another electricity user in Injustice. There weren't even that many in the first game.
Captain Marvel, Black Adam, The Flash, Nightwing's staff, Luther, Zatanna...
Exactly. Not many at all. Number 5. Plastic Man. You thought Booster Gold was the only comic relief character on this list? Think again. Stretchy characters are generally zoning characters in fighting games, so expect a character that can attack you from a distance in many ways with Plastic Man. However, unlike other elastic fighters like Dalsim or even Martian Manhunter in the first game, Plastic Man will do a lot more than just stretch his limbs in various directions. Do you think DC's other stretchy guy, Elongated Man, could pull off all his tricks?
Hey, Elongated Man's a sweetheart.
Plastic Man can be a twist on the traditional stretchy characters in fighting games, and that can be a pun if you want it to be, by doing a lot more shape-shifting. Plastic Man has plenty of go-to forms he uses in the comics and TV shows. He can turn his hands into hammers, grow to massive sizes, be a ladder. There's really no pattern to what he can transform into.
For me, Plastic Man is Fantastic Man! Shut up, Reed Richards.
And since he's a funny character, there's likely to be some humor infused into how he uses his powers. So you're open to more options to seeing how outlandish you can make his moves look.
Number 4. The Red Hood. Jason Todd. We've got a bunch of bats already, but his gunplay sets him apart. Besides, if the Bat Fam needs another storyline, they're Black Sheep. Red Sheep? It's a proven popular way to up the drama. Both a long-range shooter and an expert brawler, the Hood's moveset could be a brutal, in-your-face contrast to Nightwing's elegant staff work.
He's a character teeming with coolness. Ever since NetherRealm Studios announced the first game, he was top on everyone's request list, it seemed. And NetherRealm Studios delivered, with a Joker costume of the other Red Hood, so no Jason Todd for us. In NetherRealm Studios' unofficial DLC poll for the first game, he was third on the list of choices given, but if this poll was more widespread, I feel Red Hood may have been on top. I almost left him off this list since I thought he would be a guaranteed character for this sequel. But since I left Akuma off my Street Fighter V speculation list after thinking he was a lock, I'll give Red Hood some more support on this list. Still, I think NetherRealm Studios would be unwise to omit Jason Todd. I almost want to make a backup number 4 since I don't like to include characters I think are inclusions I don't even need to make an argument for on my speculation lists like Red Hood here, but that would be a silly idea.
What about Poison Ivy? Like I said!
I said that would be a silly idea, and I also said before we recorded, she had plenty of screen time in the first game, as an unseen character in her Arkham Asylum cell, but hey, her flowers got plenty of screen time as interactables, so there's no need to put Poison Ivy anywhere in this video.
Quick guys, number 3.5, Poison Ivy. She can have vines coming up from below to tangle up your opponent, or to pack a punch. Poison fumes, awesome costume variants based on different plants or seasons, or the comics versus the cartoons. You're with me, right? Okay, oh no, here he comes. You never saw me.
Number 3, Starfire. We had 3 Teen Titans in the first game, so why not add another in Injustice 2? In the Injustice comics spoiler, Beast Boy and Kid Flash are killed in Dictator Superman's universe, so while that's not the main universe, where the explosion never happens, I think Starfire surviving in both universes gives her a leg up on the other Titans that could potentially be in this game. As for her possible moveset, she has a lot of general tools to work with, as in nothing unorthodox in her main set of powers that would sound unique in a fighting game on its own, but her powers leave for many creative tricks. She has your standard green energy projectiles, eye lasers, flight, and while it's not her go-to ability, fire. Her hair loves that stream of fire, and it's even in the second half of her name, so it should be a primary part of her attacks. We didn't even have a fire user in the first game that was a DC character, or I guess Joker's outro in that one Zatanna attack, but basically she would be the first primary non-guest fire user in Injustice. I learned about her through the 2000s Teen Titans cartoon, where she showed the many manners in which one could fire green solar energy, so maybe her overall moveset could be heavily projectile and flight-based, with a seasoning of some flame hair manipulation. So, Sindel? And if she is in the game, you gotta have that big 80s hair. They would probably just use her modern interpretation, but give the bouffant a chance. I don't know if that's the right hairstyle name, but that's why I do not host a fashion show.
Now, as long as they give her a costume that obeys the laws of physics, for once, I think Corey will be a glorious addition to Injustice 2.
She has plenty of costumes that would work in reality, plus people like the unorthodox costume because physics don't matter to superheroes, and artistic liberty and other reasons that they probably don't want to disclose.
Number 2, Blue Beetle. Jaime Reyes, the third and current Beetle, has the potential to be amazing both story-wise and in gameplay. For the story, he's got a mysteriously dead mentor, who was Booster Gold's best friend if you want to bring him in and have a whole storyline, and a history of being mind-controlled by evil aliens. So the fun plot twists come preloaded. In gameplay, he fits right in with the game's armor gimmick. In comic canon, his alien armor can shift to many different forms. He can have blades for hands, or swap to his sonic cannon, plasma cannon, or really any cyber weapon you can think of. He's sleeker and faster than Cyborg, and he can have some fun pre-fight dialogue with the delightfully homicidal Scarab symbiote that gives him his armor.
He also has metal bug wings, which he can use to fly. Of course, it's not that impressive looking at how many characters could fly in the first game. But hey, only one had wings in the first game, so it's sort of unique. You took all the good abilities in your description.
I love my bug son.
Really?
My son! I'll fight you!
Number 1. I was thinking about putting Black Canary here since she is one of my most wanted characters, but 2 reasons. One, outside of her Canary Scream, I don't have much else for a unique moveset speculation to say about her for a full entry, so Sindel? And 2, even more than Red Hood, she's a staple of DC Comics enough where they cannot leave her out of 2 games in a row, right? Right? Of course I said Sakura would be a lock for Street Fighter V in my speculation video for that game, and we all know how that turned out, so consider this a retroactive top 11 list if Canary never makes it into Injustice 2. Anyway, number 1, Vixen. She was one of my favorite characters when I first learned about her in Justice League Unlimited, and for a character who never was atop the mainstream superhero lists, she has seen plenty of notable appearances in other DC media, so why not add Injustice to that resume? Her main power is among my favorites in fiction, being that she can channel the abilities and attributes of animals using the totem on her necklace. She can gain strength, speed, or simply momentum by thinking of the right animal, like a charging rhino. Extinct animals are not off limits here either, since she has used dinosaurs in the past. She has even used powers of an electric eel to absorb electricity being thrown at her, so potential for some fun counters maybe? I also like visually impressive attacks, and I feel like she has great potential for some amazing looking attacks. While the look of her attacks may have varied in the past, there are some great effects when it's activated in the comics. The only thing I cannot visualize is how the armor system would work with her, since she has always been into lighter clothing.
In past Vixen adaptations, I've seen her powers represented with a glowing silhouette effect of the animal she's channeling. That could be her version of the armor swaps.
Overall, with her recent participation in the Arrow TV series universe and her own online series, I think she has a chance, and I would really like to see her in Injustice 2. So what do you think? Agree? Disagree? Are there any characters that have a reasonable shot of making it into Injustice 2 that we left off this list? Let us know. And for the unreasonable choices, stay tuned, since if you enjoyed this video, we may dive into our outlandish, unlikely roster choices for Injustice 2, but that's another video. Thank you all for watching, and this is MrTopTenList,
and this is DJ Weird Sister signing off,
saying see you in the next video. Oh, and here's a random outtake blooper thing if you want to have more time to click these annotation end cards. Or not, just enjoy your day either way.
Watch out for the whirlpools, Odysseus. Make her mad, and this water witch is the queen of mean. And the queen of my heart.
Can we have Emma Frost on this list?
Fine.
Woohoo! Actually, no, that would be dumb. That's a Marvel character. This is for DC characters.
Yeah, what kind of monster would put a Marvel character on a list for DC characters?
We're not implying anyone, we're just asking.